just going to go through the process of creating a new schedule and then going through and enrolling as a student to see what that looks like. So the first thing you want to do is when you go through as a student, when you first log in, is to go into the schedule section. Once you're in here, we're going to create a new one. We're going to give it a name, something like Feb Intake Forklift. We're going to see which course instance that's a part of. So we're going to say it's for the forklift truck one that's in Geelong on a weekday. So we select that. Start day, we are going to say, since we've called it in Feb, we should probably choose something in Feb. We go AM, and we'll say 7 AM start. And we'll change this one to Feb first, and we'll say this one finishes at 5 PM. Occurrence, it's just one day. How often it's going to occur? If it's just once, you can leave it blank, but you can still put the number 1 in there as well if you like. We'll just leave these, so this is the maximum number of students for that group. And if we want to have any settings where we can either remove it or leave it on, depending on if any of these criteria is met. So just for now, we're just going to leave it as never. And whether it's available immediately or whether we want to save it for a little bit later. So at the moment, we'll say yes, make it available in the on our enrollment form. So we're going to click save. Once I've clicked save, you can see that it's appeared up here in my calendar. At the moment, there's obviously no students in there. And you can see in here as well that it will tell me the location and the name. And if I click edit in here, you can see the details about that session. And again, there's no students in here. So the next thing that we're going to do now is have a look at the enrollment form and to see what we've created, what it looks like on the actual enrollment form itself. So this is the enrollment form on your website that's embedded. If I refresh that, and I can see up here, it's the 3 courses that are currently available. And depending on which one we choose, we're going to get different options. So I believe the forklift one is the first one. So if I scroll down, I can see that it's giving me a name, the different delivery options that are created. So the one that we just did was Geelong weekday GH, I believe. And then you can see that it's got 3 different options within that. So you've got one that's starting on the 20th, the 28th, and then you've got one on the 1st of the 2nd, which is the one that we just created. So if I select that one there, and I go through the enrollment process, I'm just going to see which parts are the required parts. So you can see initially the enrollment button is deactivated. Once I choose whether I'm an international student or not, so I'll just say I'm not. It'll give me the student declaration here, so just some information. These links link to your student handbook and to your privacy notice on your website. You can change this in your settings option. Once the student has ticked this, you can see that's available. If I try to complete the enrollment now, it's not going to let me because I have to fill in some information. So let me just go ahead and do that. Choose mail and email address. Choose a password. And just the normal questions through here. So I'm just going to choose some random ones. You can see the USI is selected to be active on this one, so it's going to make me enter a USI. So I'm just going to choose one of these ones from here. And yep, we're happy with that. Have I successfully completed any qualification in the past? Sure, I'll say diploma, and it allows me to choose different options here. Same with the disability one. If I've got disabilities, it lets me choose whichever one I want. If I want to see the supplement for the disabilities one, it's got the option here. If I click it, it'll just open that up down there. And if I click it back, then it will go up again. Then I'll just put in the other necessary information. So just quickly do this. Streets. It's in Waylaw 5, Victoria. Happy with all that. So now go through and, oops, missed one. choose complete enrollment. I will not save those details. It takes me next to the payment screen, so it gives me the information that, yep, this course, the total price is $499. If you had discounts or voucher codes in there, that would show up as line items, but this is a pretty straightforward one, so there's none of that. So the name on the card will say is this, the digits, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, expiry is 12/22. You can put anything for the expiry as long as it's a valid date, and anything for the CVV when you're putting in these fake credit card details. Then you click the pay button. So it recognizes that this course has a LLN or a CSI attached to it. So say, thank you for your enrollment. Prior to starting this course, you need to complete the CSI or the LLN, and just to click the button below. So as soon as they click this button, what it does is it takes them to the actual course itself. We don't have an image there, so that's why that's coming up blank there. Once they're in here, they can actually go through and start completing the questions. So you can see these are the questions that the student had. So they'll just go through and complete these questions and submit the answers as required. But if we go back into our student management section, which was here, and we give this a refresh, yep, it's going to ask me to sign in because I've signed in as a student. If we give that a refresh and we go back to, well, actually first you can see the student one, that new student that we entered has just appeared in here. So all their information is in here. You can see that that's the course that they've enrolled in. These units are obviously because I've previously enrolled in this one, so it's put all them through, but normally we'll just have one unit. And in here as well, you can see that in the schedule one, if we go to that intake of Feb that we just created, you can see that now we have a new student in there. And then if you click on the actual calendar itself, you can see that that student is in there as well. And if I was using this from an attendance point of view, I can say whether they were here or not on the actual day by just clicking in here and updating it accordingly.